And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
Who would have ever thought that the guy who purchased Twitter would repost a video with all types of QComs reminding us that it had to be this way and so much more? We will review what is happening with the 2020 election, what Michigan means for the USA, how El Sayed continues to reveal his evil agenda, what happened to the WNBA, and so much more. Hang in there. We're at 514,000 followers on Rumble. It's a go-to for free speech. Thank you guys for supporting us there, hitting that follow button and that like button. And you're putting us at number 2 on the top of the leaderboard by hitting that like button and placing comments below. Check this out.
If you've been wanting something a little extra, our rhinestone collection is just for you. The same comfy apparel you already love, just with a little sparkle. We always encourage you to wear your And We Know apparel out in hopes that you'll meet like-minded people, and you're sure to stand out in these. Available now on the Shop And We Know site.
So you can go to andweknow.com, folks, and you can get that. We're going to show you later on Patriots wearing our gear. We thank you for sending those in. Remember, if you go to andweknow.com, that's andweknow.com, very brand new website. All kinds of goodies there. You can check it out. You'll notice that the Get Involved button, when you click on Patriot Showcase, it's a drop down to Patriot Showcase. You scroll down, you can submit a photo, or you can shop the OC gear right there. You can hit the shop button at the top there and get that. But again, a great website. We got our latest episode there. Our 2027 Alaska cruise is up and ready. Hope you guys are getting ready to sign up for that, and so much more. Thank you so much for helping us out, supporting us there.
You know, I don't know, John. I mean, I honestly don't know. Everybody, I don't know what's in people's heads and what's in people's hearts. Here's what I do know. If we do reconciliation, we don't need any Democratic votes. Mm-hmm. We do have to get the permission of the parliamentarian.
Yep.
But there's a way to craft a voter integrity bill, the so-called SAVE Act, that I believe can pass muster with the parliamentarian. But we don't know unless we try. Now, Senator Thune, to his credit, is going to bring that to a vote on the floor. We're going to have a chance to do what we call get on the bill. I'm obviously going to vote yes. I think all Democrats will vote no. I don't know how many Republicans will vote no, but probably some will.
All right. Well, in the meantime, we will all stay dazed and confused about what's going on in the Senate.
Yeah. Interesting, right? That comes up, that the Save America Act can be brought to the floor, meaning it only needs 50 votes plus J.D. Vance. And of course, the reminder is we don't know unless we try. Well, yeah, you better try. Senator Thune, to his credit, is going to bring that to a vote, right? That's, of course, they're trying to give him credit. But that's thanks to all the folks making the phone calls and pushing them, and we'll see how that plays out. Here's something else. On Dan Bongino's show, they had John Solomon on. Solomon made an interesting prediction.
Now we have a bunch of lazy senators who want to threaten the filibuster and not get off their feet and talk and really represent the people and stand for what they believe in. And all the American people are asking John Thune to do is to restore the Senate to the way it used to work before Mitch McConnell's lazy filibuster ideas kind of came into play. And I think that the American people are going to be there. Here's what I think is going to happen, Dan. And I think you probably know some of this because you had a foresight into some of the things that the Bureau now knows that was kept from the American public. I think Donald Trump is going to change the narrative in America. I think he's going to change some senators' minds, and he's going to do it by revealing some of the things that Chris Wray and that Chris Krebs and other major officials who were in charge of the integrity of our elections and who told us it was a perfect election in 2020. He's going to start revealing some of the intelligence that was kept from the American people. And we're going to see that our foreign adversaries have monkeyed with our system more than we knew, more than those driver's licenses coming into Chicago that you helped get all of us to understand about a few months ago, about China sending fake driver's licenses to help Joe Biden in. There are going to be significant efforts by foreign powers, some friends, some enemies, that were trying to meddle in the system, and they got pretty far down that path. And I think when senators realized their state could have been targeted, when senators realized that the intention of the identities of some of their voters might have been assumed, I think there's going to be a different debate in America. And I think if the president takes the time to educate people and show them that maybe the stories we got from the last leadership weren't true, I think he's going to pick off the votes. And then the American people are going to put some pressure on John Thune, and they're going to surgically implant a stiff back, and he's going to change that filibuster for this particular thing, make it a standing filibuster, make the Democrats talk till they drop, and then we'll get a vote in the summer. But I think there's some big, significant, and very troubling revelations about the vulnerabilities of our elections that the president is about to unveil on the American public.
Yeah. Observing consciousness, mother of all bombs incoming. Quote, I think Donald Trump is going to change the narrative in America. I think he is going to change some senators' minds. He's going to start revealing some of the intelligence that was kept from the American people, and we're going to see that our foreign adversaries have monkeyed around with our election system more than we know. Remember, he said this, and I think when senators realize their state could have been targeted, there's going to be a different debate in America. I think there's some big, significant, and very troubling revelations about the vulnerabilities of our elections that the president is about to unveil on the American public. Part of this discovery, the crimes committed around our communities and even in our elections probably, be handled by the FBI. You know, that's where Dan Bongino once was. Well, listen to what FBI Director Kash Patel said about their amazing ability to increase the time that it takes to discover who, what, where, when, why, and how.
A little bit about espionage. And, I think you said it was 114 arrests of spies. You actually had like 62 removals of Chinese spies. You highlighted that. Mm-hmm. That seems, certainly a lot more than I've ever been aware of in one period of time.
It is. I mean, the numbers, we talk about stats, but behind the stats is the work that we're putting on. And the twofold mission of the FBI is to defend the homeland and crush violent crime. And on defending the homeland piece, our adversaries are always looking to steal our secrets, to co-opt our citizens, and have them steal our secrets and send them back to places like Russia, China, DPRK, Iran, just to name a few. We prioritized our counter-espionage division to go after and cripple these adversarial attacks on our citizens and the theft of our classified information. The FBI, since I've been in the seat, has seen a 55% increase in espionage arrests alone. 55% from the last 16 months that I've been in compared to the prior 2 years of the Biden administration. That's a massive uptick. But that just shows you that we are laser focused, pursuant to the president's directive, to stop espionage activities, no matter who the source is, who the actor is, whatever form it comes in, whether it's a direct adversarial attack through their intelligence officers, or whether they go out and try to make friends with folks in U.S. government service, at the intel community, at the DOW, wherever it is. And we are arresting people nearly every week on espionage matters.
All the foundations are being set to start taking the enemy down. Imagine the amount of time once he stepped in, Kash Patel, to make this happen. How they would have to get rid of deep state actors. Who else they would have to assign in different departments to make sure that the future looks good for our country. Got to set up these foundations, right? Got to make sure that they're strong during this takedown. Well, confirmed Todd Blanche. Officially confirmed as the 88th Attorney General of the United States. The American people voted for results Todd Blanche continues to deliver. He came in, remember, as just kind of helping out, kind of the interim guy, and now he's in. While that was happening, we had President Trump post Trump Aberdeen, right? His golf course. And if you notice that post, Julie Donut saw this. The storm is here. Be prepared. Hold the line. The right people are stepping in, setting up foundations, ensuring that the walls are secured all the way around. Checks and balances, AI installed, computers stripped apart and rebuilt, instructions redone, people fired, good folks brought in. It takes time. Any of you guys that started businesses and grown them, you understand this. It takes time. But it seems like things are starting to line up. And if you're noticing this, Elon Musk actually reposted a video from Johnny Mnemonic. You'll notice it had a few key phrases in it. And I'm going to show you this video later on in the video, in this video particularly, but just a couple of screenshots to get you to understand what's coming. One of those you'll see in the bottom right corner, it had to be this way, is a young lady holding a sword with the Q belt on. In that video that says the only way is the military. It says justice is the only way forward. It says enough must see. It is the only way. Transparency is the only way. Where we go one, we go all, and so much more. And that's going to be needed. As these guys start going down one at a time, the Democrat Party starts falling apart. We're going to see it. Speaking of the Democrat Party falling apart, this is making waves everywhere. Fox News aired CNN's take. Remember our favorite guy?
They were actually on the plus side of the ledger. They were actually in positive territory at plus 1 point. Look now in 2026. We're not just talking down there underneath the Potomac. We're talking down there with the Titanic. We're talking 24 points underwater. And this is just the party overall. This isn't the congressional leadership. This is the party. The party. It's just a terrible, terrible, terrible brand. Terrible. I want to almost get my Charles Barkley. Terrible, terrible. I can't even do a Charles Barkley. But the bottom line is it's absolutely terrible.
What I love, I know. What I love about that video is if you listen closely, you can actually hear the CNN executives shooting themselves in the background. Guys, the Democrats are 24 points underwater in the polls. Like, think about that. More people would rather eat Taco Bell lettuce than vote for the Democrats.
You know, it's interesting having a live audience there as he's bringing this up. You know, when we had the cruise, when you have 700-800 folks sitting there and you play this guy from CNN, the audience reaction to him and how they start clapping and celebrating when he's done is just phenomenal. So I want to have a whole bunch of his clips ready for the next cruise just so we can play them over and over again and have a blast. Well, we're going to get into the issues playing out in the Democrat Party with this El Sayed guy, Michigan. Observing Consciousness is bringing up the proving ground for Michigan, how that's playing out. And different things that are playing out in other states, like judges wearing the full garb, celebrating what they're going to do for their Muslim community in states that you would not believe. You wouldn't believe the states they're being installed in. Stand by. Friends, let me ask you something. How long have you been trying to get healthy without really knowing what's going on inside your body? You've seen doctors, you followed advice, you may have tried diets or supplements that sounded right, but nothing really changed because you were still guessing. That's why my family and I work with Dr. Kelly Shockley. She doesn't guess, she tests.
One of the biggest ones that I didn't even know I had needed a win, and that is that I have stopped a dependency on melatonin after 10 years use, and in order to sleep. A lot of good results, but to stop that 10-year addiction has been just life-changing.
Dr. Kelly stepped outside the traditional medical system so she could do what the system simply doesn't allow. Look deeper, ask better questions, and get real answers.
And with complete and proper testing, and then actually interpreting those results differently than what the rest of the medical world does, we can find the why behind your diagnosis or the symptoms you're experiencing now that you didn't used to.
Through advanced testing, she uncovers what's actually driving symptoms: toxins, nutrient deficiencies, inflammation, stress patterns, the things you simply can't see without data. When we went through testing, she identified issues I had never even mentioned, things I didn't know were connected. That's when I realized how much I was guessing. This isn't cookie cutter care. It's not trend chasing. It's stewardship. God designed your body to heal, but you have to know what it needs. Testing lights the way. Go to corehealthadvantage.com/AUK, learn how testing works, and decide if it's time to finally get real answers. It's in the description box below, including a link to our latest interview. You'll love it. Click on that link today. I'm about to play a clip from a guy who's a longtime Democrat with deep Clinton ties. He walks away. Julian Epstein, former chief counsel for House Judiciary Democrats, leaving the party.
I have been criticizing the Democratic Party for a long time as being far to the left of the median voter. So just as a matter of practical politics and pragmatism, I think the party has gone way too far left. But I think the party has also lost its moral center. I'm Julian Epstein. I'm a longtime Democrat. I was formerly the chief counsel of the House Judiciary Committee and the staff director of the House Oversight Committee for the Democrats. I'm the former CEO of the consulting firm LMG, which represented, amongst other people, Hillary Clinton for president. If this is where the party's going, this is not a party I want to have anything to do with. My piece in the New York Post today basically says that I'm jumping ship, that I am going over to the Republican side in the Michigan Senate race, and I'm supporting Mike Rogers. And this is because I think the Democrats have gone off the deep end. I think the lunatics are in charge of the asylum. I think that there is no room in the tent for people that want to destroy our Constitution. There's no room in the tent for people that want to align themselves with radical Islam. There's no room in the tent for people that want to align themselves with anti-Semitism. And there's no room in the tent, I think, in my view, for people that don't have any interest in building for the next generation, but only want to redistribute what others have created, and want to basically tear down the free market that has been the most effective anti-poverty liberation machine that human beings have ever invented. If you want to start taking these lunatic positions, then I'm just not going to be part of it. And I suspect this isn't about me. I suspect you're going to see a large group of Democrats starting to defect. I think this is what you're watching in real time here is a party that is jumping off a cliff. And I just don't intend to jump off the cliff with him. If you listen to Mike Rogers, he's sort of a very practical, middle-of-the-road, normie guy who would have been very consistent with where the Democrats were, say, during the Clinton administration.
Oh, that's big move. Big move playing out. Joe Lang, left-wing media trying to help El Sayed distance himself from Hassan Piker. Remember Hassan Piker? We showed you that. Hassan Piker, the guy that says America deserved 9/11, basically making all kinds of evil comments and cussing. Yeah, almost just a severe radical, right? Left-wing media, they're trying to help meet the press. Trying to help. See if he does what he's supposed to do.
Face scrutiny for campaigning with socialist streamer Hassan Piker, who has made a series of inflammatory comments, as you well know, including saying America deserved 9/11, describing Hamas as a lesser evil than Israel. Do you plan to continue to campaign with Hassan Piker in the general election campaign?
Look, I'm less concerned now with who I'm campaigning with, a lot more concerned about who I'm campaigning to. We got a lot of work to do to continue to build the coalition that's going to beat Mike Rogers.
Would you welcome him, though? On the campaign trail with
Like I said, I'm a lot more focused on who I'm campaigning to. So I think we have this notion sometimes on shows like this that we cannot or should not talk to certain groups of people. And I'll tell you that the 3 million people who listen to Hassan are people I want to make sure understand that there's a pathway into our politics around getting money out of politics so we can put money back in pockets and pass Medicare for all. And so I'm going to continue to have the conversations with those folks who we desperately need to reach out to, just like I'm going to continue to have conversations with seniors in senior homes, folks up north, folks in Detroit, folks in Grand Rapids. So again, I'm a lot more focused on who I'm campaigning to rather than who I might campaign with.
El Sayed refuses to publicly disavow Hassan Piker, and the longer he goes, the more damage comes to the Democrat Party. He's going to be forced to defend Piker's racist and anti-American views. They think alike. To disavow Piker would be disavowing himself, and then it would force him to abandon some beliefs publicly to try and make himself palatable. Something tells me, says Joe Lang, that Hassan Piker isn't like Reverend Wright. He's not going to just go quiet and fade away if El Sayed dumps him. I think he'll get even more angry and radical, which will make him an even bigger millstone around the Democrats' neck. Huh. And then I saw this from Avery Day. I believe that's how you say her name. She plays a clip of Abdul El Sayed openly calling for Sharia law in America.
When the state of Oklahoma voted in a referendum to amend the Constitution to ban Sharia law. What does that mean? I don't know.
You don't know?
And yet the voters banned it anyway. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran Kareem, He tells us, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, O you who believe, kunu qawwamina billah, shuhada'i lil qist. ولا يجرمنكم شنآن قوم على ألا تعدلوا اعدلوا هو أقرب للتقوى. O you who believe, stand firm with God. Be witnesses to justice.
There you have it.
You can't understand a Sharia ban without understanding the Trail of Tears. You can't understand the efforts to uproot Muslim Americans without understanding the Tulsa Massacre. You cannot understand the challenges we face today without understanding white supremacy.
Witnesses for justice. That's a call for jihad. That is the translation. There's no other way to put it. There you have it. He said resistance to Sharia is the same as racism and hatred and rooted in white supremacy. The resistance to Sharia law. That means he wants to implement Sharia law in the United States. And did you hear that about all his justice he said over and over? That's what they do to justify their jihad. We've seen it. The Muslim Brotherhood uses it. It's their thing in Egypt. It's what El Sayed supported with the Muslim Brotherhood political wing. There's a Muslim Brotherhood political wing in Egypt called the Freedom Justice Party. And it was just an extension of the Muslim Brotherhood, which is, of course, a full terror organization that has, it's their mission to destroy the Western world. They have a 100-year plan to destroy it from within.
Terrorists brought into America. Wake up. Michigan, the proving ground. The proving ground. 2 visions, 1 ballot. A model America can replicate. Mike Rogers, MAGA, Make America First. And Abdul El Sayed, Progressive, Sanders, AOC Wing. All based on borders, healthcare, taxes, Israel, government power, American identity. Observing Conscious put this out for us. Watch Michigan. The Senate race is going to become the race of 2026. Mike Rogers and Abdul El Sayed puts 2 completely different visions of America on the same ballot. Dearborn will be ground zero. We're already seeing it. Now they have a comparator. Someone to measure against. Mamdani's New York gives America a living example of that progressive socialist communist model in motion. People can watch it, measure it, and decide whether they want more of it. Borders, healthcare, taxes, Israel, government power, America identity. All of it runs straight through Michigan now. This becomes far bigger than 1 Senate seat. Michigan becomes the proving ground. Proving ground. Watch this get loud. Now, Amy Mack again, giving us great info. Asma Ali, you're looking at her on the screen, became a judge. Rare Foundation, RAIR, USA's massive explosives, Asma Ali. Her appointment as Mississippi Mississippi's first Yemeni Sharia hijabi municipal judge. Her career legalizing illegal entrance. Her network of Marxist, Muslim Brotherhood linked figures and troubling Islamic supremacists. She has scrubbed her public announcement of the new role. We captured everything and more. The Facebook post in which she proudly declared she would continue practicing immigration law while serving as a municipal court judge, complete with her photo in the black robe and gavel, has been removed. I will not stop hammering every single red state that is not fortifying it. We must understand that we are the last line of defense in the country. Amy Meck says, I refuse to see America fall. Amen. To everyone lecturing me on how America's already gone, I say, stop giving yourself excuses. Rise up and start mobilizing in your towns. Get involved in your town council. Get involved in your school boards. Join the Intel Action Team, Rare Foundation USA. And she's got an email there, info@rarefoundation.com. Now, Muslims in Chicago found out that Christians had planned a Jesus March. So they decided to have their own Islamic march at the same time and location to try to disrupt the Christian march. Muslims in America are becoming increasingly hostile. Before you know it, guys, give it several more years down the road, and you'll see what's going to happen. James Woods posted this from the Daily Mail. Headline, nanny who decapitated a girl, then carried her head through the street screaming Allahu Akbar, will be free after just 5 years in psychiatric ward after doctors cure her. James Woods said it's time. This is from Midavi.
Pay attention, please, because this is not the Middle East. This is Houston, Texas, 2026. People marching, holding up these beautiful signs, stand beside the oppressed. Hussein stood against injustice. So moving, right? So peaceful. Except I'm Iranian and I know exactly what I'm looking at. In America, you need to wake up, buddy, because you are looking at a Trojan horse. Let's do a quick history lesson here. Before 1979, Iran was a powerhouse. We were free. Women were judges, doctors. We had music. We had life. Tehran was called the Paris of the Middle East. Then came the Islamic Revolution, and it did not start with guns. It started with marches just like this one. Slogans about justice. And then, boom. Hijab became the law. Music was banned. 9-year-old girls could be married off. The real oppression began. All in the name of the exact same religion on those signs. But let's go back even further. How do you think Iran became Muslim in the first place? Did they just politely hand out pamphlets? No, of course not. In the 7th century, the Arab Islamic conquest invaded Persia. They destroyed a 1,000-year-old Zoroastrian civilization. They burned libraries. They forced conversions or made people pay a tax just to stay alive. They did the same thing to Egypt. Egypt was Christian, for God's sake. The Copts were conquered, subjugated, and erased. This is not a religion just peacefully hanging out. Historically, it is an ideology of conquest. And these signs about Hussein and Karbala? Let's talk about the actual Battle of Karbala in 680 AD. It was not some noble fight for human rights. It was a political power struggle. Hussein and Yazid were fighting over the land, over the caliphate, over who got to rule the empire. And by the way, Karbala is not some barren desert where they were dying of thirst for no reason. It sits right between two rivers. The whole romanticized victim story? Political propaganda designed to keep people mourning and compliant. My people were not told the truth, but we tried to warn you. The late Shah of Iran warned the West decades ago. Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi has been shouting this from the rooftops. The Islamic Republic's ideology does not stay in the Middle East. It exports itself. Look at Europe. It is already a mess. Parallel legal system, neighborhoods where secular law doesn't even apply anymore. The cultural and demographic shift is already happening there. And now it's in Houston, in our backyard. I believe in the Constitution. I believe in freedom of speech. But the Constitution does not protect ideologies whose stated goal is to conquer and replace the Constitution. We banned communism for trying to overthrow the government. Why are we blind to political Islam doing the exact same thing? They conquered Persia. They conquered Egypt. They took my beloved Iran in 1979. And now they are marching in America, holding signs about justice, while the regime they represent hangs people from cranes in Iran. We warned you. Please do not let America be next.
Yep, a lot of warnings going out there. So saw this also, if you guys are looking at this guy in Dearborn, Michigan is looking up at the bells ringing. And he seems to be very upset. The Muslims are saying that they're annoyed by church bells and want to ban them. That's the word that we're getting. Adrian F. Pascal says usually it's demons who get irritated by church bells. Can you imagine if they start removing church bells throughout communities and they're replaced with their prayer 5 times a day? Just imagine.
No amount of gaslighting from the left is ever going to convince me to greenlight the spread of Islam in America. I don't care how many accusations of Islamophobia, with xenophobia, all the phobia. You can call me a bigot from now till eternity. You can call me anti-black somehow, anti-immigrant somehow. I don't care. I don't care. There is nothing you folks can say to me to convince me that the spread of Islam in America and in the West is not an issue. Thank you.
So she posted that as a Christian. Those are her thoughts. And many are starting to put their thoughts out on social media on this. And tell you what, I don't think things are going to work out well for the Muslims as more and more people wake up to what's happening and more Christians start understanding just what's playing out there in their very backyard. So I wanted to share with you a few more things that were posted by Kash Patel, Extortion 17, some more information from John Solomon. And we're going to be getting into later on what happened at the WNBA with Sophie Cunningham and some big names that used to play in the NBA who are declaring they're transgenders now to call out the WNBA for their hypocrisy. We'll show you that in a minute. Have you been dealing with nagging pain, restless nights, constant stress, or just feeling drained? What if the solution was something as simple as wearing a watch? Introducing the new and improved WaveWatch 2.2, the world's first sound frequency therapy watch. This isn't just a timepiece, it's 166 powerful frequency sets, over 1,250 targeted frequencies designed to help your body restore balance naturally. Wear it on your wrist, pick a set for pain relief, deeper sleep, detox, energy boost, stress melt away, or even nerve support, and let gentle, safe sound waves do the work. No apps, no Bluetooth, just pure natural harmony. I use the watch for my back pain and also to regulate my sleep. My friend used it who had terrible knee pain affecting his bowling. Now he bowls pain-free. Another shared in less than a week improvements in liver, hip pain, nerve pain, and emotional balance. It's a blessing. Thousands are experiencing fast-acting wellness without chemicals or side effects. Right now, WaveWatch is giving And We Know fans a special deal. You get 15% off with code AWK. That's code AWK. That's a big savings on the WaveWatch 2.2. Don't wait. Supplies are limited and pre-orders are moving fast. Visit wavewatch.com/pages/AWK today. Use code AWK and take the first step toward feeling better naturally, because when we know better, we do better. Order now. Paul Sperry came out and said newly declassified documents reveal former FBI Director Andrew McCabe launched a full counterintelligence investigation targeting President Trump in May 2017, based in large part on a Washington Post column and a CNN report. McCabe is now employed by CNN. Well, we had some folks go out there and they found on the Q board, Q drop 1436, which tells us and has McCabe. Rapid Fire movie by that name involving a corrupt FBI. Flood is coming. FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe sent an email with the subject line, Flood is coming, indicating CNN is going to run a sensitive story. CNN in the target brackets. CNN is targeted, but then so is McCabe for classified information to them. it's happening. And that was posted in 2018. And folks, remember, FBI is getting cleaned up. The right people are being put into place. The information that was hidden for so long, after you remember President Trump's first, when he was 45, basically was put back on skids. He's constantly being attacked. We were constantly, every single day, watching all of the drama about Russia, and they're going to impeach him and blah, blah. And then he didn't have all the right folks in, I don't believe, at the right time. But many things were happening behind the scenes that we're not privy to. And then, of course, during the pause, more and more was playing out as the military took over. And then we have President Trump now with the right people, I believe, in the right place. And they're making waves. Kash Patel posted this. Extortion 17 gravesite was the call sign of the SEALs that Obama had killed. And there it is on your screen. He posted it. Kash is pointing out that it is about to be exposed. And what are you looking at? There's Evergreen on Extortion 17. Evergreen, remember? Code for Clinton. Good, you learned. Friend, yellow. Yellow is also reference to Q. And then was here. See the green? Friend was here. Extortion 17. Let's get a little more detail on that. Thanks to Kim Auer. The posting at 8:32, Extortion 17, HRC. Extortion 17 was a U.S. Army CH-47 Delta Chinook helicopter shot down by a Taliban RPG on August 6, 2011 in Afghanistan's Tangi Valley, resulting in the deadliest single incident for U.S. forces during the war. The crash killed all 38 on board, including 30 U.S. personnel, 17 Navy SEALs, 7 Afghan commandos, and an interpreter. All on whose watch? HRC's watch. Remember, Evergreen. You guys remember, there's Evergreen right there. And Extortion 17, Evergreen. See it? Pointing out the information so we can see it. All right, now let's go to the next part here. Conspiracy theories connect Extortion 17 to the August 6, 2011 downing of a U.S. Chinook helicopter in Afghanistan, right? So the facts of Extortion 17 was shot down by a rocket. Casualties, it was the single deadliest loss of U.S. military life in Afghanistan war. And that information, I believe, will be coming out. So John Solomon is reporting that EPA Chief Lee Zeldin revealed to him in an interview that he has made several criminal referrals to the DOJ after discovering that Obama and Biden officials were moving money, $29 billion in green energy grants, around. Ooh, they're in trouble. Awaken Outlaw. The tip of the old iceberg applies here. There's simply no way to hide the movement of money, not anymore, not with advancements in AI and capable, honest people actually willing to look, not to mention the will to do something about it. These criminals just never thought anyone would look because no one was ever supposed to. At least that's what they were promised for playing ball. And if someone did, the investigation was contained and shut down by compromised interests in the intelligence and law enforcement agencies. Those times are over. President Trump put this out. Alert. A National Park Service career employee, a highly credible witness, saw David Hearn of Act Blue in broad daylight vandalize the reflecting pool by violently ripping and tugging at the pool's somewhat delicate coating. The National Park Service employee provided this witness testimony to the U.S. Attorney's Office in early July, as seen below. Numerous other events took place, including using an acid-like material on the just-installed grass adjoining the pool. On it were written in letters 8647, a phrase probably gotten from James Comey. There was substantial other damage to the reflecting pool also, but unfortunately there is no video or proof other than the damage itself. We are working on the pool. It will reopen shortly. As with many jobs, there was also some contractor error done by rushing the job for a July 4th opening, but it was a very small area of this massive pool and was relatively inconsequential. Security cameras have been be installed. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So again, pointing out their corruption. Also, he posted that picture. Architect James Hoban, right, and President George Washington left supervised construction on the president's house in 1792. basically showing us what? They're going to finish the ballroom. Observing consciousness. Why are they fighting this so hard? This has moved far beyond a ballroom, right? The fight for that whole construction and all the folks that are having issues with it, because it stopped being about a ballroom a long time ago. This is a direct fight over presidential authority who controls the machinery around the executive. Trump has Secret Service, the Secretary of the Army, and Army Corps of Engineers documenting that the structure is integrated into White House security. Hardened protection for underground military facilities, reinforced shielding, counter-drone capability, and a secure presidential event space. Standing against it is an organized legal machine, the National Trust, using one of its own trustees to establish standing, Obama's former White House counsel on the legal team, with crew, Campaign Legal Center, ACLU, DC, and congressional Democrats joining the fight. They are defending an approval architecture that forces presidential action through Congress, agencies, commissions, and courts, a major executive powers control measure. Trump is challenging the architecture itself. That is why this fight is happening and why SCOTUS will decide how much of that gatekeeping structure survives. Why wouldn't the Supreme Court let him put a legal addition on the White House? Seems simple. It isn't. Reclaiming executive powers is the balancing of the system as the forefathers created it. They lose control. Losing control, well, it's very interesting because Scott Bessent brought up something very interesting about the Strait of Hormuz.
There's some who've speculated the strait will never go back to being the way it was before. What would you say?
I think they're saying that in a doomsday sort of way. I would say it in another way. The strait is never going back to the way it was because the Iranians have used or tried to use it as a choke point. What we are going to see over the next 2 years, the strait's going to become irrelevant. It is going to become just another body of water. And I would say that more than 50 or 70% of the energy that moves through the strait now is going to go through underground pipelines.
How about that? World's most critical choke point to a random body of water within 2 years. Oh boy. Another thing put out by the president. Iran has no money. President Trump said 51 years of bad behavior. Boy, oh boy, showing the currency is trash. So much going on. There's some positive news for our country.
Yeah, I think that one of the things we're seeing is that these jobs numbers are getting revised left and right. You can remember over the last couple of years, there were millions of revisions. And the bottom line is that if you look at the overall economy, then things are really, really booming. As an example, there are 83,000 construction workers building factories right now. That's a number that we've never seen before. Initial claims for unemployment insurance are the lowest they've been since World War II. There are more job openings than there are unemployed workers. So there are all these things that suggested the numbers should have been really strong. And when it didn't come out strong, we sort of dug in and we saw that the two things that made it negative, one of them was a reduction in government workers, and it was mostly teachers at states, taking July off. And the other thing was that the FIFA ended, and so that we had a whole bunch of hospitality workers, file for unemployment in July. And so anyway, so you take those two out and you get back to what the consensus number was, about 100,000 job creation. And the point is, if that were in isolation, I wouldn't be caring about like throwing this or that on the side because it's a special story. But the fact is, everything else is so strong that I think that it makes sense that the consensus was about right.
Just getting started. As I watch these and I see the numbers and the smile that he has talking about, all that's going on behind the scenes, I'm wondering if they're going to get rid of the 90% of the fake folks that came over in H-1B visas. Remember, we talked about that and showed how a lot of folks from India, 90% of them came over to America with fake diplomas, taking away Americans' jobs. Then you had the illegals coming over by the millions, taking over the Americans' jobs and making the price of homes increase and inflation, all kinds of bad things going on. Well, It's going to take time. They're working on it. I'm looking forward to that day. But in the meantime, I wanted to remind you we had a great video posted Saturday. Silver up 14% in a month from July to August, folks, just last month. Japan, Bretton Woods, end of carry era. You don't want to miss what Dr. Kirk Elliott talked about in this amazing video. Amazing video. We had a little bit of some issues. Folks have been writing me saying, hey, your audio's a little off. I know. We were trying to get through that. But we did. It sounds great. You can get through it. amweknow.com/gold. If you don't want to wait, jump on board, folks. You have your IRAs brought over to him and so much more. It'll be delightful, life-changing, and so much more. And I wanted to remind you, if you go to amweknow.com, you can see our gear there. You can go to our shop site, and it'll be phenomenal. Here's more great pictures of Patriots wearing our gear. Now, folks, if you haven't really been on social media, maybe, or, I talked to some folks actually today. I was like, did you guys hear about what happened with the WNBA? And some folks write us and they put, send us emails. How come you're not talking about what's going on at the end of? Okay, we're going to get into something that happened here recently. If you're looking at your screen, watch what happens to Sophie Cunningham.
Here's Cunningham up ahead of the field, weighs it in, plus the foul, and then Cunningham gets into the face of Dejanay Carrington right away in the aftermath. And Cunningham has to be separated.
Now, I'm going to pause this for a second. And I don't know who that guy is that's talking, but you notice he's making Cunningham look like the bad person. She just got taken down. Basically could have been injured for life. Could have broke her neck by being clotheslined by this girl. And he says Cunningham's coming at her. Cunningham has to be pulled away. You see what they're doing? Do you understand? WNBA is all about pulling in the people to make them look like the bad people are actually the good people and vice versa. And then they had to play in slow motion the replay of what actually occurred.
As both teams will head to their benches.
You'll see a Dejanay Carrington as Sophie Cunningham comes down, gets her right across the face, coming down trying to prevent the layup, but that is just a hard hit. That's definitely going to be upgraded, I think, to a flagrant 2, Ryan.
I think that is going to be a flagrant 2. There is wind up.
And just getting her out of the way.
Criteria for flagrant foul.
So they check for a flagrant foul. Her friend has to pull her off.
Defensive foul on Dejanay Carrington has been upgraded to a flagrant foul, penalty 2. Since there's wind up, impact, and follow through, high potential for injury, players in a vulnerable position. Since the basket was successful, Sophie Cunningham will receive 2 free throws to make 1.
There's wind up, there's follow through, there's potential.
And so this played out for all to see. And if you guys aren't looking at your screen, you're listening. Just wanted to show you that this lady that took her out, what's her name again? Carrington, I think. Carrington comes over and boom, clothesline. Wraps her arm around her and pulls her down. Not just a simple, I'm trying to block the ball. Wraps the arm around and pulls her down. All kinds of injuries could have happened. But Carrington's wearing a blonde wig. She's not blonde. And she nails her. So then she goes to the back.
Face coming down, trying to.
And her name is Dejanay, I believe, on X. And she posts when she gets taken out of the game, white privilege. white privilege because she clotheslined and took her down, and she was finally removed from the game. And she can't take that she's being punished for almost killing somebody, in a sense. Not killing, but severe injury. And then you listen to the coach of that team.
I mean, look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that Dejanay intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did. But it did happen, and I thought it was the right call. But, you know, one of the things about Nay is that she's going to play her butt off, man. She's going to compete. Nobody's going to go walking in for a layup. And so I don't oppose the hard foul. But I also don't think that she intentionally went for the net.
Yeah. So let's go to a headline from Sports Illustrated. Anybody out there have Sports Illustrated? I don't pay attention to them anymore. They put this headline: Sophie Cunningham got a bitter taste of karma after drawing flagrant foul in Fever. Sophie Cunningham got a bitter taste of karma. So this right here is a bitter taste of karma. Are you really reaching for the ball, or are you jumping over somebody's back to try to reach for the ball? Are you trying not to foul them, or are you trying to pull them down and cause a severe injury? Let's go over some more stuff from WNBA. There's a coach on your screen wearing a shirt, "Trans Kids Belong." And they're all debating whether they can have trans folks on in the WNBA. Now, I'm going to say this before I forget. Sometimes I think, folks, that all this drama that's happening with WNBA, all this, fighting back and forth because Sophie Cunningham has been put out there, and, she's been helping Caitlin Clark, who was getting beat up, beat down, and Sophie got famous for giving it back to them because they deserved it and that kind of thing, right? And WNBA was pretty much falling apart, not getting really good on ticket sales and more. Well, all this craziness and this UFC fighting that's going on with the WNBA it's increasing probably ticket prices. Folks are like, dude, we're going to go watch the game and see if they beat each other up. So could it be a play that's going on to try to get folks to start buying tickets? And let's look at the controversy about WNBA. Ticket sales. People are watching us again. I don't know. What do you think? Well, while they're playing this game of we can have trans kids belong, well, they're talking about having trans players, that it's okay. There are people like this person who right here knocked out Sophie Cunningham. There are quotes from people. Let's see, where's she at? This basketball player in the bottom left. And some others, I saw them actually talking about, I think it's great if they bring trans people that, they want to play basketball with us. It's great. Let them come and compete. That we shouldn't be so much against them. Well, guess what? They're calling them out. There's actually two guys that came out. Okay, let's show you the first one. Right here. Enes Kanter, I hope I said his name right, or Enes Kanter, came out with this.
After careful consideration and reviewing the current eligibility guidelines, I am officially declaring myself a WNBA prospect. If simply declaring who you are is all that's required, then I meet every single requirement necessary to compete in the WNBA. My team and I have carefully examined the WNBA's eligibility criteria and governing framework surrounding self-identification and inclusion.
So he's basically declaring he has everything that's required. I'm declaring that I am a female, transgender. Riley Gaines says, thank you, WNBA, for allowing this to happen. Libs of TikTok laughing. Lionel says, Enes Freedom's argument, this basketball player, is legally and rhetorically compelling because it demands consistency. If self-identification is accepted as controlling when determining whether biological males may enter female spaces or categories as the WNBA spouses, its proponents must explain why the principle suddenly changes from when competitive consequences become inconvenient. You can't champion self-identification as dispositive in one context and dismiss it in another without articulating a principled distinction. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Who else? came out. Oh, this guy. Royce White, former NBA star, declared for the 2027 WNBA draft. He was a former NBA first-round pick. He said he identifies as transgender for the purposes of playing basketball. He said the reason he's doing it is to find out the WNBA's actual rules. I'd like to know what the parameters are. So, WNBA commissioner announces the league is meeting to review its policy on what a woman is after 2 NBA stars declare for the WNBA draft. Thank you, Ines Freedom and Royce White, for bringing up this issue. Miss America. The trolling from NBA players is one of my favorite things to happen to the WNBA woke management. Royce White said, I haven't been publicly trans for 72 hours and I'm already getting so much hate. I just want to hoop with my girls in my feminine era. Why can't y'all be happy for me? He's getting attacked for the very thing that they're saying they accept. Yeah. Before I read this from Brian Cates, he did a great review on this. I'm going to show you they already have trans players. So if they do a review of what a trans person is, then guess what? Folks like this player right here, Brittany Griner, is going to have to do a test to find out who you really are.
With everything going on in the news lately, I think this is a perfect time to revisit this video. What do you notice here about Brittany Griner?
Brittany Griner doesn't have a shirt on. Brittany Griner is just a guy.
Real quick. Brick, thank you.
Yep. There they are. Hopefully that cuss word didn't make it in. If it did, I'm sorry. There we go again. And there's Brittany Griner, the dude.
Look like a woman to you guys?
It's not a woman. Listen to the voice in case you guys are doubting that.
Yeah, and I looked at him like, I ain't going up in there. We gonna have to fight. Like, because I'm not going in that tank. I'm not going up in that tank.
And how many men were in that tank? If you
like 4 or 5 of them up in there.
Yep. It's going to be put in the male jail. Said, I'm not going into male jail. Why not? You're a male. I'm not going in there. You're a male. Yeah. So, Brian Cates said, somebody quotes to you and says, I hate sports. He says, doesn't matter. I don't care about the WNBA. Doesn't matter. For now, the cultural shift in the new American golden age is wiping out the woke mind virus, runs right through the WNBA. It doesn't matter if you don't like it. This is what's happening. You can't talk bad about it or whine about it. You have to embrace it. Guess what I'm doing? Some same stupid people last year, while they were trying to cancel Sydney Sweeney over her jeans ad and failing. We don't care about Sydney Sweeney. Remember, that's what they said. Who cares about some stupid jean commercials? There are forces out there running social media demoralization campaigns trying to pretend what's happening isn't happening. We're winning, and the woke mind virus is in full retreat. Step it up. Laugh at the demoralizers trying to get you to back off. Oh, man. Brittany Griner, they already got him. And if they have to go and investigate, what a man, what a woman really is, they're going to have to get rid of some of those that are actually already on the WNBA. Do you guys get it? Are you understanding what's playing out in front of us? All these people are going to have to realize their stupidity is going to be put right in their face if they don't let these guys, the transgender guys who declare transgender, they don't let them play. Before you know it, who knows if the WNBA will be just a bunch of guys, maybe old retired NBA guys actually bringing real basketball, and we'll be having a good time to, watch some real good basketball. Who knows? All right. Remember I told you about the video that was put out by Johnny Mnemonic? It had to be this way. Reposted by Elon Musk, as you see on the screen right there. Elon Musk reposted. Let me show you what's on this video. The song is from U2. The first image you see there, I'm just going to scroll through this, is the Q belt zoomed in with that almost like angelic being with a sword. Then you got a guy, you got, nothing can stop what is coming with a storm over DC. Yeah. Text there. And then you've got some more folks wearing a Q on inside of his helmet, almost like that was the mind that's being put out to the entire earth. They show some ladies Ascension Q. Remember we told Ascension on the Q board. Then you've got Superman, you get some other superheroes. The greatest military intelligence operation of our time. That's one of the Q posts put into the video. Made it come alive. Remember, Elon Musk reposted this. Then you've got the storm playing out. The storm, folks. The storm is here. We believe that that's a lot of comms are going out now from many folks out there showing that there's a storm and that seems to be playing out right in front of us day in and day out. There's another big Q. It had to be this way. You continue to scroll through. All roads lead to Q. And we have some more here. The storm is here. Interesting. And then you have some more superheroes and some more strange things happening behind the scenes. Where we go one, we go all. Q. The Great Awakening. Q. All in this video. Grasshopper 17 got a hold of it, and boy, did he ever say, look, guys, there are so many connections here. I'm just going to read a few that he found. Elon Musk, mother of all bombs, reposting a non-Q video. Shield of Faith. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully. The Great Awakening. Also known as the Great Awakening. Armor of God, Shield of Faith, Sword of the Spirit, Archangel Michael prayer, Flaming Swords. Whatever is happening now. Nothing is a coincidence. We are at war. SA cut the strings. They are scrambling for cover and using any means necessary out of their remaining power and control. The comms from one video from a post by Johnny Mnemonic, reposted by Elon Musk. The Great Awakening is happening. I wanted to finish today with something that really touched our hearts, especially for, and we know all of the folks out there, you know, that we have Marcy with the Grace Center Foundation. She took her family out to Ethiopia, where we support them. The Grace Center Foundation link is in the description box below. We hope that you go check it out. But I wanted you to enjoy this video. If you go to their website, you can see their home, their vision, about us, program stories, contact us. And we've had interviews, and we'll have another one in the next month or so, we hope. The internet's very slow out there, so we'll see maybe when they get back. But I wanted to show you the video that they sent us, and this is thanks to your support and your prayers. Watch what they've done in Ethiopia.
Hi, LT, Jamie, Angie, and your family. I know you can't come to Ethiopia at the moment, so we thought we'd bring Ethiopia to you. Those are our boxes being put on the plane. And this is the road to Grace Center. Everyone who received one of the And We Know sweatshirts said they don't think they have ever worn anything that is such good quality. This is Mulu. She was so happy she wouldn't stop dancing and smiling. This is Mulu when we first found her. She had been lying under a blanket for 3 days in the rain, and everyone thought she was dead. We went to her and brought her to Grace Center. She weighed only 67 pounds, had TB, cancer, and was deaf. Through healing prayer, the Lord miraculously healed her of all of this, and even healed her hearing. That is Kari. She is deaf. She makes most of our jewelry, including the paper beaded jewelry and purses. That's our mom who milks our cows. Our 11 cows provide enough milk for hundreds of children in our daycare and school. I was joking with her that she needs a white sweatshirt so it would blend in with the milk. This is Woobit. I told you a bit of his story during the last interview. This is Woobit when he first came to us. He was like the lepers from the Bible. Most of his life, no one came near him or ever even spoke to him. One day he heard a voice saying, "Get up and walk," and saw a vision of a doctor removing the growth. He walked for many, many miles, and God brought him to the gate of Grace Center. We prayed for him and with him and brought him to many doctors. Every doctor said they would have to amputate his leg. He kept saying, "That's not what I saw in my dream." One doctor said, "Even if you go to America, no one will do this surgery without amputation." Then all the staff laid hands on him and prayed over him. The next day, in a meeting with my friend, I showed her his photo and asked for any advice. I had completely forgotten that her husband was a doctor. She responded later that day on a Friday afternoon saying, "My husband will do surgery Monday morning and he will do it without amputation." And here he is after the surgery. Woobit's prayer was answered and God healed Woobit. Now he works in our bread factory baking almost 1,000 loaves a day for all those we feed at Grace Center. I met with my friend the week after his surgery and thanked her and her husband and told her what the doctor had said, that even if he went to America, they would have to amputate his leg. And she said, "Well, actually that's true. My husband is the only doctor in the world trained to do this surgery on this type of tumor, only found in this area of Africa, and to do it without amputation." Just recently, Woobit got married. Here he is with his wife. Woobit's name means beautiful. He really is such a beautiful person. The banner we put up for you is still on our gate. I wanted to get a group photo and told everyone it would take 10 minutes. I underestimated what is involved in photographing hundreds of people, most of whom are children 3 years old and under. LT, Angie, Jamie, everyone at Am We Know, I want to thank you all so much for your tremendous partnership with us and for all the ways that you have helped to save and transform thousands of lives, half a world away, all the way in Ethiopia. We are so grateful for you and you are so dear and special to us. God bless you. After the entire morning, we got a great group photo.
For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you now, amazed by how you've continued to do amazing work through so many imperfect folks in an imperfect world, and still your message of salvation through your Son, Jesus Christ, is being presented around this entire earth. We thank you that you allow us to participate in this. Thank you for reminder, your love letter to us, how much you shower grace over our lives when we need it the most. We ask that you continue to have your will done on this earth as it is in heaven. We also lift up many around this earth who are fighting for freedom, presenting your gospel and more. And we ask that you would continue to protect all those that are working hard on the front lines, especially around an enemy that is losing control and making it known through many possessions of human beings around this earth, wanting to bring horror and terror because they're being exposed for who they really are. So we bring that before your throne. We bring this and ask in the name of Jesus Christ, our Savior. Amen. Thank you so much, folks, for tuning in. We hope you have a great remainder of your day, and we'll hope to have a great week of more exposure for all to see. For now, this is LT Semperfi with Them We Know, signing out.
And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.